Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming back. And I know a lot of y'all are mainly here because you want to see what I say and stuff like that, but that's cool. We're here. This is going to be kind of a return to the format that a lot of y'all will probably, was probably your first introduction to, my channel, which was, when I started talking about that whole Bonnie and the door situation, and then I talked about Vanessa for a little bit. But that's kind of the vibe I'm going for here, to where it's just, blunt, using some facts, adding a twist of my little dry sarcastic humor, and that's what we're here for. Now, before we get started, because I could already hear the damn keyboards already, I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this. I don't think either side is truly going to be happy 100% on what I'm going to be saying about this, because I'm not here to defend your champion, whoever that might be, Ofelia, Jaime. I could care less. I'm here to talk about what I've read in the court documents. I'm here to, kind of report on what I've seen and basically give my overall overview of how I feel about it. Quick summary, in case of y'all are thinking I'm here to defend Jaime, here to bash Jaime, here to support Ofelia, here to bash Ofelia. We're gonna do a little bit of all that. Okay, so I'm not here to please you all. I'm here to talk about what I want to talk about. It is my channel. There's plenty of other channels that you could go to watch to support Jaime, to go watch and support Ofelia. I'm truly neutral here. This is going to be completely unbiased, and this is a true neutral. A lot of people like using the term neutral, and it's always a little bit one-sided here, one-sided there, small jabs towards one person here, small praise to one person here. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to kiss the ring off of anybody. I'm not here to defend or join your little clubs of peacocks or tweakers, whatever. I mean, all the fucking names you could choose, and those are the ones y'all sit on. But that's cool. That's cool. And if you are one of those people who like to call yourself a peacock or a tweaker, hey, more power to you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think it's stupid. But let's get into the case. Let's start getting into the case. I'm going to go over the facts of the case, and then we'll start getting into what I think of the individuals involved. And I'm mainly here because this case is really too ridiculous to ignore. The fact that we've gotten to this point after years and years of the same thing. We're basically talking about two YouTubers. I'm not going to say influencers, because I really don't see the influence in there, unless it's to behave badly, get arrested, and get mugshots. But we're here to talk about two YouTubers, because the fact is they have YouTube channels. And we're not here talking about thousands of dollars in revenue and earnings or anything. I'm talking about maybe in a good month, we're looking at $300 to $400 a month. I mean, you can flip burgers and probably make that in a week, but that's their choice, and that's my choice to say it. And this isn't, a David versus Goliath kind of story. This is more like a David versus a slightly larger David kind of story. Two individuals just fighting it out, duking it out just for the praise and, if you want to call it, entertainment. Now let's get to the complaint. According to the complaint, April 8th, 2024, Ofelia allegedly posted repeated communications against Jaime on both Facebook and YouTube. That's what the paper says. The state here going against Ofelia is claiming that she did it to annoy, abuse, harm, torment, and embarrass Jaime. They're also saying that her posting and her videos caused emotional distress to Jaime. I'm trying to get through this good stuff first before I weigh in on my opinions on that, but that's coming. And all that is basically, to summarize, it's basically just saying, hey, this person talks a lot of shit. We feel the things that she has said is illegal and has caused harm to Jaime. This was officially filed October 23rd of 2024. A little more fact checking here. Bond was set for $5,000. She pled not guilty, but here's the kicker. If you remember this drama, or if you just need a refresher, both Jaime and Ofelia were arrested on the same day for the exact same thing. The only difference here is Ofelia, being the gambler that she is going to roll the dice and let's see what the jury says about her actions. Jaime kind of took a deal, kind of like a plea deal. And to me, as an observer, as someone who enjoys courtroom shows, I feel a plea deal is usually taken in two instances. One, when you know you're gonna fucking lose and you have no chance of walking out there unscathed. And two, when you're not confident enough for your defense to convince the jury that you're actually a good person and weren't capable of doing this. Is that exactly what happened? I don't know, but looking at the situation, I feel that like Jaime said, you know what, I'm not gonna win this. I think I need to take a deal and walk away. Let's go over a quick timeline of events here, people. October 23rd, a complaint was filed. October 30th, attorney enters appearance. We got April 16th, 2025, which was a waiver of arrangement, and that's when Ofelia pleads not guilty to the charges. On June 3rd, defense requires discovery from the DA's office. This is going to be very important later on. Until July 31st, when discovery was finally turned over. And both sides agreed that they are ready to go to trial. Few motions that Ofelia's defense filed for before court. And before we get into that, hold on, let me just... You gotta keep a Dr. Pepper in your pocket. Put that back. Okay, it was a motion of limine, or motion in limine. It might be one of those. I can barely speak Spanish. I'm not gonna, try and pronounce Latin. So it's basically all prior convictions, pleas to bad acts, as they want to say. Keep all that out of the jury's ears. Okay, similar. I'm going to start using this in my arguments with my wife to where she will no longer be able to pull out something that happened, I don't know, July 23rd of 2018 when I'm winning an argument. I'm just going to say, hey, can't do that. Another thing was motions to dismiss. Allegedly, and based on what the court documents say, DA did not provide any discovery. That there was nothing submitted, so at that point, Ofelia's defense said, hey, there's no evidence to go over, there's nothing in discovery, let's go ahead and just squash this. We filed for it, we requested it, there's nothing to go over. And at this point, we feel that they're purposely delaying evidence and violating Texas law and the US Constitution by not putting anything in discovery. Now, either that they had it and they didn't turn it in, or Jaime never provided this discovery to the state, so that's why they had nothing to actually turn in. Either way, it caused a delay in court, and defense was using that as an attempt to, like, let's just go ahead and, drop the case already. Another motion that they filed was for the judge to be the one to decide the punishment. Usually this is given to the jury, but they filed for a motion for the judge to have say-so. The jury is only there to tell him guilty or not guilty. And honestly, that's a gamble. I feel like that's a gamble because the judge might be a little more strict than 12 individuals who don't have courtroom experience. But at the same time, you're having to take your chances with one person to sign your fate rather than a room of 12 people to sign your fate, which might be more lenient on you in the end. And the judge is probably going to see through a lot of this legal kung fu that they're going to do in the court case, whereas the jury might buy a lot of the stuff and have more of a chance of giving a lighter sentence if they feel that, hey, this is back and forth, this isn't just one person tormenting an individual for the sake of it, this is not a real case. But that's for the judge and jury to decide on if she's guilty, not guilty, and what the case, what the punishment is going to be for that case. Like I said, Ofelia and Jaime, they are both YouTubers, they're content creators, and I feel their only product in this is the drama. This is what fuels them. They have no other source of income, and that's not a dig. Everyone has a hustle and everyone does their own thing, but when you look at the facts, they don't have a steady income, they don't have jobs, so they kind of rely on, I need this video to do well, or I need this video to go somewhat viral, which means like 500 views. So that's kind of what pushed it to continue to one-up each other, go after each other for the sake of the views. And it would be one thing if there was the occasional like travel vlog or like a tech review or like a movie review or like a cooking channel or a life update or something like that, but when it's just a constant like live streaming and mocking and indirects and personal digs, that kind of just shows you what your brand is.